Hi friends, it's Natasha at the Cozy Cushion, my sacred space that I hold for you to talk about things that matter most to us and things that have been on my mind. Today I wanted to come by and talk about some things that have a dramatic effect on our world as a whole, and it affects so many of us in different ways, especially over the last few years. Sorry, I just wasn't comfortable the way I was sitting. The last few years. Overall, we've really allowed technology to take the place of meaningful connections, deep conversations, engagement, as well as our social life. There's so many of us that are really struggling getting back into the routines that we had back in 2020, and for some of us even before that. And as I finish up my coaching program, I've had a few days to kind of process information, the people that I had an opportunity to meet, the conversations that we all had. Even though they're in a Zoom room, they were all over the world with such a variety of beautiful people that want to do good in our world. And the things that are really on my mind, especially as an intuitive empath with psychic ability, is the number of people taking their own lives. Our service people. Every time I hear of another service person that has taken their own life, either at home or at work, because now there's been information relayed to me that it's even worse than we're talking about. And as a person that does readings and has a very strong intuition for our world, it's really, really important that we talk about it. When I was young, when I was a teenager, I had numerous occasions where suicide impacted my life. And it was almost as if the door opened with one experience of a loved one that had a really deep impact on my life, because it was a close family friend and that sort of thing. But then as years go by, it seemed like every 3 years it would happen to somebody else's loved one or within their family. And this goes hand in hand. Sorry, I just got a little glare happening. As time goes on, I realize how connected this is to people's self-love, self-worth, and taking care of ourselves, our emotional health, our physical health, and what I love most, our spiritual health. And we do need to practice habits that make us stronger and get us out of our minds. People are really, really suffering with belief systems, and they're really struggling with self-love and self-worth and community. And the more I see it, every week I pick a topic to come in and talk to you guys about. And every week I think, today, for instance, I did breath work late in the day with my breathwork instructor, and I made a deal with him he had invited his students to share a breathwork technique that I've already shared with you guys. But he reminded us that it's important to share these techniques because it's so important to our world, and it's really important to me because I'm a recovering drug addict. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. And I now use breath work to get high on my own supply and feel good, and I self-love that way. And it's my purpose to teach that as much as I can in every way I can. And I'm going to start doing that more and more as well. Today, I just want to touch base, and I want to go back to children in a way. I'm going to post this talk for adults, but really is also for the children, the child inside of us that we've had experiences specifically around parental alienation. It's a topic that I had a very intimate conversation with my own father the other day about a very strong belief I had from the time I was very young. I had a strained, difficult relationship with my mom my whole life for, a variety of reasons. And my mom had a personality that was based on scarcity. And she had a very, very low self-worth. And she used lying as, I believe, a coping mechanism. It's taken my whole life to kind of figure it out, and make sense of it. So I'm having a conversation with my father about an experience I've believed my whole life. And it was in that moment I realized that it was another one of my mother's untruths. The unfortunate part for me is this story my mother told me specifically about my father. So this is about parental alienation. My father's a really, really good man. And my mom was a really good mom. So it's not that they were bad people. They had a divorce. They have me and my sister. And when they separated, I was about 8 years old, and I went to live with my mom. And I seen it as kind of the way it was for a lot of my friends. Parents didn't get along anymore, family functions changed, being at home changed, and so on and so forth. But what really took me back and made me reevaluate conversations that I'm having with my audience and tribe here at the Cozy Cushion is that my mom's lie about an experience my father had that she shared with me at a young age not only made me not talk to my father for an extended period of time, it put me on a bad road of my own addiction and habits and self-worth and self-love, because this lie that she told me traumatized me. And she told other people that also believed this lie, so people talked about it, and it really had a traumatic impact on me and how I maneuvered through life. So what I realize as being an adult woman now, I always want the best for my children, and I try to grow from my mistakes. And one thing that was always important, even before I had this experience, I just had this experience. My mom passed away a couple years ago, and I just had this experience the other day talking to my father. So I'm glad he was still here to clear this up, because immediately once we had the conversation, I knew, and my belly sunk, that my mother once again told me something I thought was true and I had believed all these years. And not only did I believe it, I identified with this particular circumstance, which I'm not going to talk about, but it surrounds addiction. And that's how the conversation started. We were talking about addiction, in particular my addiction, and talking about addiction here on my channel because I know people are suffering. I know their children are suffering. I know we're not talking about it enough. And drugs are not the same as they used to be when I was young. They're more readily available. People can get them online. It's and it's dangerous. It's not just a couple things that we used to do when we were kids for fun. Children have the potential to have some very, very life altering, mind altering experiences in a very condensed short of time because of the potency of drugs that are available to them today. And there's a wide variety. So it's basically like a candy store. So I want to talk about parental alienation because if you're a parent of children and you talk bad about your children or you don't tell the truth about certain things or even you withhold information, you're really not building a solid bond with your child. And when you alienate another parent, like my mom had told, tried to get me to believe that, my dad didn't care for us as much as, he did, which is a terrible thing because in my heart of hearts, I completely 100% knew different. And there's so many children. The more I do this coaching and the more I talk to people, I realize that we have so many similar stories, that parents demonize one another. They blame one another. They hold on to fucking grudges for 20 years of an experience that happened between them, and they drag it through even new relationships and even raising new and different children. And when I had my sons, I don't know if I did everything perfect or well, but one thing I really did was do my best to honor their fathers. And if I couldn't honor their fathers for whatever reason, I always felt like if you can't say something nice, just don't say anything at all. And if a question is asked, to answer it as honestly as you can. So I don't know, you would have to ask my children how well that's going for me and them. But it's important for me to dialogue with them. Every opportunity I get, I remind them, no matter how old they are, to make good choices. I remind them of their strengths. I remind them of their willingness to serve our communities. My oldest son is a firefighter, so he's out there volunteering to help people at their worst at a moment's notice. And when I hear of another suicide of a service member, a police officer, a firefighter, a paramedic, a nurse, we don't hear about the doctors as much, veterinarians, bankers. Like it's almost, and it's almost weekly. It's almost weekly that I have a reading with somebody because I do intuitive empath readings. I call them Akashic record readings. Sometimes people ask me for mediumship, which we combine those very easily because that's sometimes where most healing needs to be done, is within the heart and with grief. But the abundance of suicide between young children all the way up to older adults and our service people, I don't know how we can ignore it, and I also don't know how we can support it other than taking good care of ourselves and talking about it. And if we know somebody that's been affected by the loss of a loved one, no matter how it's happened, we need to sit with them. We need to listen to them and what they're saying. We don't need to judge them. We don't need to tell them to, crafty things we've read in books and how we may have dealt with things in our way. We really need to begin to view mental health, love, friendship, community, and family orientation completely different, because to tell you quite honestly, it's not fucking working for us, a lot of us. And it fires me up because I see children suffering. I just went for a drive downtown. My son and his friend wanted to play basketball, and there was a young boy playing, no word of a lie, playing in traffic. And, you know, he was going all willy-nilly. He was maybe 6 years old, and there was other children that were kind of in a combative style play with him. And so I just kind of drove slow and maneuvered, and then I had to honk my horn because this child was actually blocking traffic as he was picking up rocks and hurling them into the Tim Hortons drive-through at other kids, which were climbing walls to get into the garbage bin area, which is closed off because I assume there's only garbage in there. And I thought, I wonder where this child's parents are. And no word of a lie, the parent was there, just ignoring everything, and just walked away and left this child basically playing in the street among cars. It was really busy time because it was supper time. And yeah, just basically said, I'm out of here, and laughed. So I don't know how it ended, but it really dawned on me of how we're really not paying attention anymore. We're so busy on to the next thing. We're working, and then we got to make supper, and then we've got to watch this, and we've got to do that, and the dog needs medication, and, you know, so on and so forth. And we're not breathing. And I did breath work. Actually, my breath work teacher, I was doing breath work literally just prior to leaving to take my son to play basketball, and then I came back and my mind was clear, and now, you know, it was important to me to come on and do this video. But the level of what the heck is going on in our world really hit me kind of again. You know, there was a few things that I seen. There was another guy that was coming into traffic, and he didn't want to wait his turn. As traffic, like I say, it was supper time, so everybody's coming home. There's traffic coming down off the highway. This child's running in the street. This guy's waiting here, not even caring that child's there. Boy, he's edging his great big truck out into oncoming traffic coming down here, and I'm just sitting here watching it all like, wow. Like, you know, this guy didn't even care. Like, he didn't even care. He didn't even honk his horn. And this child obviously wasn't paying attention to any of the traffic at all either. And, you know, we can't control everything, and, you know, but it just made me want to sit back and reconfirm what my breathwork teacher had asked his students to do, which was to teach 5-breath meditation that really brings you back into the feelings, just feelings. Remember feelings when we used to have emotions and reactions? When somebody said something, we told them to fuck off. You know, remember when we could do that, you know, with a little more freedom. So it's going to bring our feeling back to our body and not our reactive body back out into the world. And that's literally what happened to me. I got into my physical body. I went for a drive. I seen some experiences, and I came home in a reactive body state. So we all need a little bit of breath. So I just want you to sit in a very comfortable place. And I apologize if the lighting's not so great here today. It's a different time of day for me. And I just really wanted to come on and teach you guys this. So we've done this before, but if you're new, we're going to do 5 breaths in through our nose, and we're going to breathe out through our mouth like we're fogging a mirror. So I want you to do this with me. We're going to do 3 sets of 5 breaths. At the end of each 5 breaths, we're going to hold for 5. When we're holding, we're going to hold on the in breath, and we're going to push our belly out. And we're going to squeeze our perineum. So it's just like, pulling up on our belly and almost like a Kegel squeeze. So just kind of squeezing your butt cheeks, So let's just take a moment and do this. Like I say, sit, get nice and comfortable. I want your chin up, your shoulders down and back. You can close your eyes or keep them open. I do not want you driving or doing anything else while we do this. And we're just going to go through it, and then we're going to end the video. And I just hope that we're all feeling a little better. All of us are not getting enough oxygen to our brains. We're getting too much stimulation from our telephones, from our computer screens, and from our environments. And it's not doing us any good. It's making us irritated, cranky, full of information, and conditioned to not care very much at all. And every time I go out into public, I'm reminded of that. And if I'm not in public and reminded of that, I have a meeting with somebody that is feeling that. So, enough said. I'm just going to ask you to step into the sacred space of the cozy cushion, where we can come and get stronger in our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. Today we're going to do this with 5 breaths, 3 times, with a hold after each 5 breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose and breathe out through our mouth, like we're fogging a mirror. In through the nose, nice and deep. Exhale through the mouth, like we're fogging a mirror. Literally fogging a mirror. Don't fake it. There's nobody here even watching you. Nice breath in, nice and deep. Exhale. Beautiful. Last breath in. Exhale. On this breath in, we're going to do the hold. Nice breath in through the nose, deep as we can. Fill the stomach cavity, push our belly out and hold. When we exhale, hum it out. Perfect. I can already feel that bringing a little heat to my body. Just take a breath here. Feel where you are. Wonderful. Second round, 5 breaths in through the nose. Exhale. In through the nose. Exhale, fog the mirror. 2 more. Nice breath in through the nose. Exhale. Another deep breath in through that nose. Exhale all the way out. Nice breath. Deep breath in all the way in through the nose. Hold. Push the belly out. And hum it out. Oh, just like you're humming through a straw. Perfect. Just take a breath here. Feel the in-breath, the cool on your nostrils. Exhale gently. We're going to get high on our own supply. So 5 more breaths, nice and deep and strong. Nice breath in through that nose. Exhale, fog the mirror. All the way out. Nice breath in through the nose. Deep as you can. Exhale, fog the mirror. In through the nose. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale. And on this in breath, inhale deep all the way in as far as you can through the nose. Hold. Push your belly out. Pull up on the perineums. Kegel squeeze. Breathe out gently, humming through a straw. Gentle breath in. Exhale. Let's take a moment to feel your body. So we've done a couple good things for you. One thing is we put you back in your body. We've taken you out of fight and flight. Another thing we've done is we've hummed. That buzzing, humming feeling activates our vagus nerve, so it calms our central nervous system. And lastly, we've exercised our lungs and we've breathed life into our body. Every time we do that, we reduce our anxiety and our depression, and we move our lungs and our organs, and they start working a little better for us, which adds to the Movement is Medicine series. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me today, to listening to me, for staying this long, for breathing with me. It means a lot to me that I hold this sacred space for all of us to heal in a sincere, easy way that we can process. Just going to loop it back around to parental alienation. If you have children and you've gone through a separation and you speak ill of the other parent, or you're prone to do it, every time you catch yourself doing that, I want you to hear yourself. I want you to think about being a little child, and if your mom and dad had said that thing you just said to your child about their parent, if that was said and it moved through you. Because I'm pretty sure some of you might want to stop short of some of the things that you've been saying. And I also, if you're a child of parents that have gone through a separation and divorce, and you're struggling, no matter what age you are. I'm a 49-year-old child of divorced parents, and in my opinion, their divorce went well. They were able to stay friends, but there were still things that happened. There were still things that caused me to believe in a lie that caused me trauma my whole fucking life for no fucking reason. And I know some of you have had those parents and they've done that inadvertently, or maybe outrightly. You know, some parents I've seen it with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears, are pretty proud to slay and alienate and disrespect your birth parent. And it breaks my heart. So if you're a child that have gone through some of that stuff, I just want to say I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. It's going to be okay. And like I say, if you're a parent that has inadvertently been doing this to your child, I invite you to reframe your relationship with your child around nothing but love. And if love isn't in a sentence, maybe take a moment and not say it. So thank you so much for staying. You're loved by me. I'm going to see you next week, friends, for another talk. Hopefully a little more uplifting. I like to think of myself as a motivational speaker and uplifter. And I want to bring nothing but peace and love and joy to your life. So enjoy the rest of your day. Protect your peace. Stay safe. And you are loved by me.